everyone. Welcome to Talks and Tea with me, Tonya Nicole. And I am very excited because I have a special guest today, and I am going to introduce her in just a moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, if you are joining me today, go ahead and say hello in the chat. Tell me what tea you're drinking. Tell me how your day is going. I am making sure that I share this on all my platforms. If you're joining me, go ahead and share it. Share it in your story, share it on your page, share, share, share. Let people know that we have some awesome things going on. And not only do we have some amazing things going on, but I am excited because my guest today is amazing. So, and she's amazing because Wendy is a grief coach. She teaches grievers how to move beyond the pain of loss from death, divorce, moving, and a bunch of other losses. And she's really amazing. She comes because she offers support and a method to help parents grieve emotional support to their children when they're suffering, but she also works with adults as well through their grief. She teaches parents, grandparents, teachers, social workers, the whole gamut how to help children heal from loss and change. So without further ado, welcome Wendy.
Hi.
How's it going?
So super.
Excellent.
Super.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, Wendy is joining me tonight, and I'm going to share really quickly what type of tea I'm drinking and my mug, and then you can do the same. So, and I'm pretty plain today because Wendy has an awesome tea she's going to share with you. So, my tea today is just a yogi tea, and it's called Relaxed Mind. I do like yogi teas. Let my thing just refresh. It still doesn't do it because of the light, but it's called Relaxed Mind. There we go. And you know how I like it, just a little bit of honey. My mug today, I like getting, so I have to tell you this, Wendy. I like shopping for mugs. And it's cool because I use it in my business. So
Hello.
Right. It makes it that much more fun. But I do thrift store shopping for mugs.
Oh, yeah.
So I get these really fun, unique mugs. I mean, I buy them other places as well, but I love getting them at thrift stores. This one's a thrift store mug. How? And look, it has, wait, let me see. Okay. It has a rose inside of it. I love it.
It's like a peekaboo. Oh, I get an extra. Yeah.
Exactly. And when I'm drinking, I'm like, oh, I can be happy. I have a flower, a gift to me.
That's right. I gave myself some flowers.
Exactly.
Drink them up.
Yes. So tell me what you're drinking and tell me about your mug.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I am drinking something called Red Satin, which sounds like it could be a little like
risque.
Does that need an intro song? What is that? Yeah. But it's from a local tea shop that offers organic teas. And so I'm one of those organic tea people. And it's a blend of peppermint and spearmint with a little bit of vanilla. It's a rooibos blend. I've included the link. And it's from
scrolling down. So if you're find the tea that Wendy's drinking, it's scrolling.
Have fun with Modern Steep. Seattle, hello.
I love that.
Yeah.
I might need to check that out because I really love a variety of peppermint teas. My son, my family likes peppermint tea, so we might have to check that out.
Oh yeah, I think you should sort of stay tuned because now that I know that, I think I get to send you a little gift of something.
I love gifts, especially tea and mugs.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you some Red Satin just so you can try it out and see what this is all about because peppermint is in it.
Cool. It is. That's awesome. Okay, and say the name because I always say it wrong. Robos. How do you say it?
I think it's all gonna spend. I heard rooibos, and it's also fun to say honeybush.
Is that the same thing?
I don't know if it's the same, but it's close.
I'm gonna
I
call it
know
the
it's
honey bush
close.
because I just can't get I just forgot it again.
Yeah, it's the Rui boss. Rui
Yes.
bois? Is it
Rebar-
French? Yeah. No.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna have too much fun tonight.
No. Yeah.
And what does your mug say? Or what
Oh,
is your mug design?
thank you. This is one I picked up at Target, and I actually picked up several of them and passed them all around because who doesn't need this little
Reminder.
actually I can. You can say it with flair and panache. You can say it snarky. You can say it to yourself. Actually, I can.
Actually, I can.
Actually, I can. So,
Actually, I can.
I believe that I can.
I
Yeah.
love this. There's so many ways.
Oh my
That mug
gosh.
is amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So
That
I face it to myself so I can have self-talk and just say it out loud because sometimes I need to hear it.
exactly.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah.
Actually. Oh my goodness, this is great. You all, we're going to have loads of fun conversation tonight. And we're going to be talking about a little bit about what Wendy does because it's amazing. And I say amazing, and it sounds so funny because I get it all excited and hyped up, and then it's like, it's grief.
Right. Notoriously heavy topic, but it doesn't have to stay that way. It doesn't have to
Yes.
be that way. There's life on the other side of this kind of pain.
There is. I love that. And I like that. So, just a little bit about you. You have this therapy, so to speak, this coaching that you do that is the grief recovery method. And you're a grief coach. So, what is that all about? Why grief therapy? Why grief coaching? What is that all about?
Right. So this is thank you, because teed it right up so amazing. It's an education. It's not clinical, it's not therapy, it's
Mhm.
not there are thousands of grief recovery specialists. Some of them are more like me than others, some of them are not like me at all, but they still offer the same method. And we use a book because what I don't need to do is make this up. It's
Right.
an
It's already done.
I don't
We
think
can
that would
apply
be
it.
helpful. No. So, okay, so we have a method. It's repeatable. It's actually evidence-based. And so it's based on cognitive behavior modalities. But what it is, it's an education. And so what I offer is an education, and then together we do an application. So we move through really heavy losses that may or may not include death of a person or a
Mm.
pet. Death is not required. Plenty of
What is
losses.
I love that. What does that mean? Because a lot of people automatically hear grief and they
Mhm,
think death. They think it's synonymous, but it
mhm.
doesn't have to be. What does that mean?
Grief, well, I have a definition that I am not going to make up, but I am going to share with you because it's important to sort of specify what's going up. And I want to plant a seed to talk a little bit about parent guilt a little bit later because I looked
Mm.
that one up too. Um,
Yes. Oh, this is
because
exciting.
I'm like, yeah. So grief is number one. While I'm finding this normal and natural, it is not fun by any stretch. However, we are wired for these kinds of feelings like heaviness, foggy feeling, foggy brain, sad, mad, angry. These are part of grief reactions. So we are wired for this as human beings. This is normal. What's not normal is a lot of what we've learned about grief and have tried to offer it as helpful suggestions and directions, which actually are not emotionally helpful at all.
Right. Go eat.
Right. Don't feel sad.
Eat.
What? I feel sad. You telling me not to feel sad? I should eat
Exactly.
something when I feel sad. Okay. Now that's a lifelong skill that I have some experience with. So
I think we all do because, and yes, that's why the term comfort foods came about, but that is not the way to heal You know, a lot of people say replace an addiction with another addiction, or don't replace an addiction with another addiction, but it's the same thing. Like, don't try to get over something by putting in something else that's going to be a vicious cycle.
Right. You're so, yes, that was so beautifully said. Like, yeah, you got to be careful what you pick up when you put something else down because it's a
Mhm.
distraction.
I like that.
It's a distraction. So the grief definition, because still helpful, just haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
I like you so much. It's so
Same. The
easy. Oh
feeling is
my
mutual.
gosh. Okay, so grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end of or change in a familiar pattern or behavior. I'm going to say it again. Grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end of what has ended recently.
Right.
Like for a lot of people, it's like jobs have ended. Going to the grocery store the way we used to do that has kind of ended. A lot
Right.
of local businesses, shopping there has ended tragically for a
Yeah.
lot of businesses. Or so conflicting feelings caused by the end of or change in a
Mm.
familiar pattern of behavior. So, what is a familiar pattern of behavior that's changed recently?
Yes, everything, life, the new normal.
What is
2020.
that? It's like the next normal for
Yes.
5 minutes. And then it's get like, okay,
And
we
then
don't
it's new
know.
again.
Right, right. The vaccine is sort of being distributed in some places. And like that's different. And there's certainly some hiccups and road bumps and whatever else is sort of like doing its thing to work itself out. But we as human beings in the world, in with nervous systems,
Right.
need to adapt. So feelings of loss around, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have capacity to stomach or adapt to this change. Like, I'm full of
Right.
like, it's changed since last week. It's changed since over here. What's happening in the schools this week? Has my kid been exposed? Like,
Right.
it is,
Did I tell you my daughter was quarantined?
when?
Yes. So, last Thursday, I was called because she was in close proximity of someone who tested positive maybe 3 days prior to that. And this is not the first time. So that's kind of frustrating because, like you were saying, that change of social norms, it's like on one hand, they really want to be in an environment where they can be social and get that education and get that consistency and schedule.
Right.
And then on the other hand, health, safety, and then the idea that this just ruins all plans because she's
We were
perfectly
so
fine.
close. Yeah.
Exactly. She is showing no symptoms. And I get the protocol. So this is nothing against the school, but it's just
Mhm.
that frustration of, now we have to cancel all these things because I'm that mom. I'm like, no, you're not going anywhere. We're going to follow the guidelines and the protocol. So we're going to stay. So cancel your birthday party, cancel basketball games.
It's disappointing. And
Yeah,
like these are things that kids look forward to, parents look
right,
forward to, grandparents look forward to. Like we all want this because we miss each other. Yeah.
right,
Like,
right.
oh man, I'm so sad to hear that.
Yeah. And I mean, she's a trooper because the good thing, I will say the blessing of it all is
Mhm.
that she isn't showing symptoms. My son had this earlier and he didn't get it. It was months ago. It was like November or something last year.
Mhm.
And so the blessing of it all is it is a precaution because they're wearing their mask. They're just in that close proximity
Ugh.
that just kind of shakes things up.
Oh, it's yeah, from the inside out. I'm sure. Like I don't have children. Like I'm an auntie and a godmother and I love having lots of kids in my life, but biologically, that didn't happen this round.
Right.
So, like,
I love it. I like the way you said that. Biologically, it didn't happen. Maybe next life.
maybe. I'm so glad she's not showing symptoms though. And that, that just like, it's another thing of like, how does this show up for you as a parent then? Is it like, do your insides tighten? Do you get very worried? Do you like, when I have a scare at home, I kind of clean a lot of things, especially the kitchen counter.
Right. And with my son, I think it started off very scary. So when it first came upon us, and I was like, I don't know what this is. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? But then when I understood that it was more of the protocol, because if you think about what we do, when we go out, we wear our mask, we use the hand sanitizer and all of this. Well, he was doing that, but it was because of the protocol that they sent him home. So now I can swallow it a little easier in knowing that, but I do still take the precautions because you don't know.
So
Um,
much.
yeah, it's not
Gosh,
a guarantee.
I don't know how you parents do it. Like, my hat's off to you. Like, this is uncharted territory here. So,
It
so
is. It
well done
is.
for just hanging in there.
We are trying to, and then forgetting. I'm like, oh wait, you're home today, so I can't do that meeting.
Actually, no.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving you. Okay, so let me adjust.
Right. My day is a moving target
Right. And
all
it was
day.
so funny. Yes, I was planning like this big long of list of things to do. And I was like, oh, wait, no. We're quarantined this week.
Oh my
No
gosh.
kidding.
Stunning.
Yes.
What day did I think I was having? It was
Have no idea. Have no idea.
Oh
That's too funny.
man.
Now, I know we talked a lot about doing the work and yes, and what completeness looks like when we're talking about this idea of healing and grief in your expertise of what you do. So, can you share a little bit about what that looks like for the listeners, the lookers today?
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of like, hey, what do I get if I go through all this work?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because why would I do that?
Right. Right. Because you look and it's especially it's a new year. So you look at all these weight loss journeys and it's like, oh, I'll end up looking like this afterwards. So
Mhm.
I'll be set for spring. But that mental work is totally different. You don't come out on the other end with this
We got
six
a
pack body.
sexy in heart there for you. What
Exactly.
does that look like? Yeah.
I know. And it's such a difficult thing. And even the idea a lot of people sell business, like, oh, you'll come out and you'll make seven figures. Well, that's not the same thing when you're dealing with matters of the mind, matters of the heart. So
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Oh, so glad you asked. So glad. Look, so you mentioned completeness, and I want to talk about completeness versus closure. And, you know, I'm going to get there, but
Mhm.
I'm going to give you what you wanted in terms of like, okay, why would I do this?
Right.
It takes a stunning amount of energy to carry around unresolved grief.
Mm.
It is a stunning, tiring, fatiguing, some frustrating, angering thing to carry around what is unresolved. How do you know if you have unresolved grief? Like, okay, let's try that one on.
Right.
Is there a relationship or a situation where you wanted something to be different or better or more? I have those relationships. Like, I've been doing this work with people for just about a year, coming up on a year in a couple of months. I still totally have these things. Like,
Right.
I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to be better. I wanted it to be more. What about hopes, dreams, and expectations with
Mm.
in previous relationships or previous careers or previous bosses? Like, I had hopes, dreams, and expectations, and maybe they were the seven-figure thing that the marketing guy was selling.
Right.
Maybe. Is that something that is still being carried around?
Mm,
'Cause that is heavy. And we are not taught to process these emotions. Like we try to figure it out. We really try so hard. We spend a lot of time figuring it out. But you know what? The brain is not broken. Oh,
yeah.
hi, Belinda.
Yeah. Hi, Belinda. Belinda's like, absolutely agree.
It is not the brain. It is the heart that is broken and it cannot be figured out. This is a heart journey. This is like actually letting go happens below the neck, like
Mm,
above the belt, but below the neck. So, like, that's where letting go happens. I did not know this. And so, what's on the other side is like for me personally, because I had to try before I bought, was like, I need some capacity. I need my thinking to be better. I would love to not be mad at
right.
that stuff in the past that I cannot control or go back and change. So this is this is what's on the other side of that.
I love that. I love that word capacity.
Thank
So
you.
I need capacity. Oh my goodness. I'm using that, Wendy.
Please. Yeah, that's yours. Yeah.
Right. I love it. No, because it really speaks to this idea. I often talk about we try to give from an empty tank and you can't. But what you're saying is we can enlarge the space that we have when we do the work to heal. And so instead of having all that crud in and you can only get this much into you, into your tank, when you do the work and the healing, it opens it up so much. Okay, Belinda has something to share, and this is awesome. She says, very little teaching on grieving at home and at school, and even at church. The Bible helps you, but there's a lot more that can be taught by a grieving course or grieving workshop. So glad to see that somebody's addressing it. Awesome. Thank you, Belinda. That really is what it is. We talk so much about all of these, I will say, they're not even superficial. I would say materialistic things, those outer things that make things look pretty, but they don't actually fill us on the inside. And so we really have to do that inside work if we want to see that pretty picture, those material or those superficial things to actually resonate just in our being, in who we are.
That kind of depth. When you said that, and I got to tell you, I adore everything that you share about doing the work
Yeah.
because so far in my life, no one else has done it for me.
Right.
And like cultivating that willingness to go ahead and go in, even if it's muddy, even if it's messy, even if I don't know exactly how I'm going to feel,
Right.
even though I'm anticipating I'm not going to like it. So
Mhm.
I love like your core message of encouragement around, hey, let's go ahead and do it
Exactly.
anyway. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Let's do it. I don't know. Because it's like that's what we have to work with. So
Right.
I just really like I appreciate you and I enjoy the way that you share. It's so beautiful and it's so need your voice.
Oh, I appreciate that. Oh, Stephen says, look forward to the rebroadcast of this. He hates to miss it. Don't worry, you can see the replay, but you can also see Wendy because she is going to be a featured guest on the Round to It podcast. And so if you're watching now, go check her out. The show, the episode that she is in, the episode where it couldn't come to mind, the episode that she is featured in comes out on January 31st, which is Sunday. And she talks a lot about this in more detail about really what it looks like to put in the work, what it looks like to, identify these things and come on the other side. And if I can also say, scrolling below, if you want to know more about her, I can't talk. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Connect with Wendy. Her email address is scrolling below. And share with me one more time because I don't want to completely mess it up. Last name one more time so I can say it properly.
Sloneker.
Sloneker. Sloneker.
Yeah. Mouthful.
wendysloneker.com. And it's scrolling below, so you don't have to worry about how to spell it perfectly. We have it right here, so you can check it out. wendysloneker.com. As long as you remember who she is and what she's offered, she'll tell you how to say her name.
You don't even have to say it.
Exactly. It's about the work
Yeah.
and it's about getting it done.
You're so right. You're totally right. And so having somebody like around who gets it, like,
Yes.
it's a big deal. It's a big, big deal.
It is. It is. And tell us a little bit about the programs that you offer around grief healing, grief work as a specialist.
Thank you. I do one-to-one grief work, and that usually looks like about 8 sessions. Now, when I did this program myself, like they took me through and we got complete with one. Oh, that reminds me, completeness versus closure. We got through, I got complete with one relationship. So what that means is like, um, from my dawn of conscious memory until today around one relationship, I have nothing that is left unresolved to say or share. And that can be about old relationships, old lovers, old jobs, old houses, ways that you grew up, loss of trust, loss of safety, loss of imagination. I've worked around my imagination in this program. I've worked around money in this program because I've experienced some loss of money sometimes
Mm.
in living. So this is like getting complete. It's about getting complete. When I did it, I did one. And I thought, shoot, if this is a repeatable method, I would really like to offer people the opportunity to get complete and capacity and feel more freedom and peace like faster. Let's do
Right.
3. So
Right.
I'm like, I could do like what's unresolved around my ex people, my current people that I'm having a hard time with, if any. And, frankly, one of my clients worked on 2020. She got complete with the whole year of 2020. So one-to-one is the way to do that. And we usually go through at least the education and then the application of getting clear on 3 major losses or loss events. The other thing I offer is it's called Helping Children with Loss, and it's a small online group. I have programs set up for dates through the rest of the year. All
Nice.
the dates are on my website. And so 8 parents or adults or grandparents or social workers or teachers, 8 at a time, we go through and I teach a method for how you can help children with loss. Because like people ask, why aren't you working with kids? Right? Why aren't you teaching kids this? And frankly, like kids learn to grieve or not grieve from the adults in their lives. Like it's the
Right.
biggest impact possible for the adults in their lives, the guardians, the whoever are their people, to teach this to them, to have that space and hold that space for them. So I teach the parents, I teach the adults, and frankly, I really have a lot of empathy for parents right now. So I want to support the parents too.
I love that. And I really think that's so important because that's really the foundational piece. So you're looking at not just the temporary, let's handle it right now, but by equipping the parents, then they can put in this work in a long period of time in giving it to their children. This is fantastic. And I like that you do it in a group for the children. That's
Oh
awesome.
my gosh, there's so much value in just being able to share like, hey, what's going on and what does this mean? I do want to share that like there are some guidelines that I employ, just like all the specialists will employ this for this method.
Mhm.
And it's important because safety and emotions and vulnerability is like like it's unfamiliar for a lot of people and it's really
Right.
scary. So the for best recovery results or for best like teaching results, I ask for and facilitate with total honesty, total confidentiality, and the non-judgment thing about like, like, no, a loss is a loss and it deserves the dignity and the respect to be honored with grief. So like I used to have like things that I was like, am I still really hanging on to that? Really? I feel kind of silly that I'm grieving that or that I feel sad about that. And I'm like, nope, that's how you feel. Why don't you go ahead and feel it?
I love that. Excuse me, I think that will really allow them, those three things allow them to just feel more comfortable. It makes them share more openly. Belinda said, love, love, love children grieving and then being able to provide that support. That's amazing.
Mhm. Mhm.
This has been great.
It's
So,
good.
you were going to finish about the closure, and we get everywhere.
Thank
And
you. I
we
know.
want to
Look,
see
it's moving. Thank you so much. We're kind of getting around to it, right?
exactly. We're gonna get
Did
around
I
to
just
it.
say
We're
that? Okay.
coming.
Thank you. Thank you. So completion, like there's a fear sometimes around closure where completion, and it's something that I went very deeply into in the podcast. So definitely get it in the podcast. But yeah, go get it. So so closure can be a scary thing. And that is because people have a fear, especially around when they're grieving the loss of a loved one. So if somebody has died or
Right.
they're really holding on to a relationship that is painful. Like it's a familiar pain, but like letting go of that pain somehow means also they're going to lose something of the person. Can't.
Mhm.
Can't. We make that up because like it's scary to let go and we have not been taught how to grieve or how to process emotions. So it is possible to still have an emotional relationship happening even if somebody has died. And so the I'm going to use a different example just to shake it up for right here, right now. But let's say that I had a dog, and I did have a dog, and his name was Otto. He was a little wiener dog. He was like a super joy in my life. And he died.
Mm.
He died more than 10 years ago. And that little wiener dog really got in this heart over here. And I still just sort of like see a wiener dog and think, it's my little man. It's my little man spirit just like running around. And
Right.
sometimes I'll be like, oh, I just love that dog. And so what that is still a little bit of an emotional relationship. So I know people who like sing to their grandmothers who have died. They ask for guidance from ancestors. This is an emotional relationship. And so being complete is being able to say, I am really missing this person right now, or I really am missing this dog right now, and processing that so it's not swallowed down and stuffed down. And then, coming out either sideways in other relationships, which is so fun and ouchy. Yeah. Or, like it's just cleaner. It's like, oh, that's happening. That's normal. I miss that dog. And being able to say it and be really clear about, yeah, still sad. And
Right.
love that dog.
I
Does
love
that make
that.
sense?
It makes so much sense because it really talks to this idea. When you look at the idea of closure, it's like cutting it off and it's over and you never get to regard it. But this
Right.
idea of completion is I still get to hold dear to me the emotions, the memories, the connection, but I can move forward past that pain and I can go to this healing part. I love it. It makes complete sense.
Oh, let's get rid of like the pain part and then just go ahead and keep the yummy good stuff.
Yeah. Belinda said she relates as well. She said we have had over thousands of flags of people dying of COVID. Can you imagine the thousands of families that need this information tonight? And she gives you your kudos because this is
Ugh.
really what it's about. I mean, when you were like, I don't have kids, I was like, who cares? Because this is such a vital topic that we have not been addressing, or maybe some people have, but I believe that a lot don't know, they don't have access. And so this really puts it right in your face, right here on the podcast, on the live stream. And you are doing your thing and getting it out everywhere, because providing that opportunity for people to really bridge that gap and to heal and to grow and to be complete. Wow, game changer. Talk about capacity.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Well, and like it pairs so beautifully with what you're doing. And that's why I was so excited to meet you, was like, yeah, do the work.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
that's it.
If there were actual cash and prizes, I would love to just send them all out. But like, no, it's all like right here, like here in this like heart space that is soft and malleable and has lots of space. And yeah, all those families suffering from COVID and other things too. Like this is available all over the world.
This is awesome. I told you I was writing notes, and just now I wrote the note, instant gratification. And so many people, we're taught, go whatever you can get right now and you can heal yourself, whether it's that tub of ice cream, whether it's finding the money scam that you can find, or doing this weight loss pill, which I would like one, please.
I need to.
Right. Just if it's out there.
Yeah.
But it's this instant gratification when what we know, the truth of what we know, even for the weight loss, is when we put in the work a little bit at a time, eating that elephant one bite at a time, that will be more sustaining than this instant gratification, because it will come back.
Yeah. That distraction element, man. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I appreciate this. If you all are wondering, scrolling below for a little while has been Wendy is going to be on episode 17 of the Round to It podcast. It comes out on January 31st, 2021. The Round to It, TUIT. And that is, let's stop putting it off for tomorrow. Let's get around to it. And this is your round to it. And then I'm also going to change it, because you can find Wendy at Wendy Sloneker.
So good.
Yes.com.
You did so good. You totally did. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wait up. I have my tea.
That's right.
So yes. So get in touch, do the work. This is amazing. Thank you so much, Wendy, for joining me tonight and for joining me on the podcast. I'm so excited. You were talking about, we gave them a little teaser on the podcast. How do we do this virtual hug you're talking about?
Oh my gosh, it is so funny. Okay, so I learned it. I know. I'm standing up. I'm getting out of my chair for this. Okay. There's two ways of doing it, and
let me put my drink down so I can get my hug.
Okay, that's right. So when I was going through grief recovery training, they said, okay, now what you do is you say thank you and you offer to give them a hug, which in person, great. Like, even if like, thank you, whatever, but we don't do in person right now. Very little is going on in person. And so we say, can I give you a hug? And some people will go like this, and give themselves a hug. You might have seen that. Yes. Like, I'm hugging you now, but I go all in and I'll like try to, here I go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I want to prepare the audience. Okay, here I come. Can I give you a hug?
Sure. Yes. Oh.
I'm like, did you get it? I gave you the whole thing.
So it's more of the arm motion where you're just like, I'm coming in for the hug.
I'm coming in. Yeah.
It did make me want to lean forward to receive it.
You got it then. Yeah. And that was for everybody.
I love that. That is awesome. That's so great, right?
I need silly. I don't know about you.
Yes, we need laughter in life. And I love that you embrace that laughter as well with what you do. You all can connect. Now, you've seen me, all of these things. We've talked about the podcast. We've talked about how to get in touch with Wendy, but you can also connect with us on social media. Bridge Every Gap is a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, and it is a club on Clubhouse. So go to Bridge Every Gap Club, go to Bridge Every Gap Group, join in because we give exclusive looks at all of these things. If there are specials, we give exclusive specials for all of these, access to the presenters and access to the people that are here. And it really allows you to take your where you are, where you want to go to the next level and really do the work. Belinda said she felt the hug.
Mm. Yeah, I'm
I
gonna give
love
you
it.
another one.
Oh, look, I'm taking it. I'm leaning with you. That is awesome. That is awesome. So that is great. Wendy,
Thank
thank you so much for joining me tonight.
A
And
complete treat. My honor. Thank you.
likewise, you all out there, thank you all for joining us, either live or on the replay. And, catch us around. We will be here. I usually put my website scrolling at the bottom, but I didn't today. So I will have that scrolling as we go out. If you want to connect with me, TonyaNicoleFuel.com. And even if you didn't get Wendy's email, you can connect with me and I'll send you right over to her. All right.
Get Tonya.
Yeah, some way we're going to connect so that you can get here and get the work in. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Peace, small hearts, stay different. You have to do the woohoo.